Georgia lawmakers just passed major bill that has Delta wishing they never left the NRA. Delta Airlines employs over 33,000 Georgia residents and has announced their decision to cut ties with the National Rifle Association, NRA. This has occurred shortly after the Parkland, Florida high school shooting that left 17 dead, mainly because the Broward County Sheriff's Department is full of cowards and the FBI was too busy allegedly working for Clinton. In a bid to remain neutral, Delta later announced that it would end the NRA's contract for members to receive discounted rates through their group travel program. But here is where things get interesting. Having threatened to do so just 3 days ago, Georgia lawmakers have now nixed a tax benefit for the Atlanta-based airline. This original bill was supposed to include a jet fuel tax exemption which would have been worth over $50 million, but it was removed at the last minute because of Delta Airlines' anti-constitutional actions against every American's gun rights. The modified bill cleared the state house with an overwhelming 135-24 vote, after being approved in the state Senate with a 44-10 vote. It now heads to the Governor Nathan Deal's desk, where he has already made it very clear he is more than happy to sign it. Good for the Georgia legislature and their patriotic governor. NRA response to companies cutting ties. The law-abiding members of the NRA had nothing at all to do with the failure of that school's security preparedness, the failure of America's mental health system, the failure of the national instant check system, or the cruel failures of both federal and local law enforcement. Despite that, some corporations have decided to punish NRA membership in a shameful display of political and civic cowardice. In time, these brands will be replaced by others who recognize that patriotism and determined commitment to constitutional freedoms are characteristics of a marketplace they very much want to serve. Let it be absolutely clear. The loss of a discount will neither scare nor distract one single NRA member from our mission to stand and defend the individual freedoms that have always made America the greatest nation in the world. If the businesses want to cave to the left demands, power to them. We're not about to tell those companies how to conduct their business. Nonetheless, the companies are cowardly for refusing to stick to their guns. #gun puns. Not to mention the strategy seems questionable at the very least. Giving 5 million potential customers the finger hardly seems like a solid business model. The left thinks they can manipulate us into forking over our boomsticks with insults and threats of full-priced rental cars. Not gonna happen. No amount of #boycott NRA is going to make firearm aficionados resent their Smith & Wessons. I guess from my cold dead hands wasn't clear enough. Here is an issue to think about. A private business can sever ties with any entity, but the taxpayers and the individual consumer can also do the same. The state isn't obligated to give any business a tax break, and no consumer is forced to patronize any business. Freedom goes both ways, and if a business decides to stay neutral by penalizing one side of the argument, then they should be ready to suffer the consequences from consumers. Even if sometimes those consequences will cost you about $50 million in additional taxes and 1 million fewer customers. Here is more information about the list of companies who might end their partnership with the NRA via Breitbart. On February 24, Breitbart News reported a summary list of companies planning to end their relationship with the NRA. First National Bank of Omaha, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Symantec, MetLife, Delta Airlines, United, Best Western, Alamo Rent-A-Car, Avis, Allied Van Lines, Budget, Chubb Insurance, Hertz, North American Van Lines, Paramount RX, Simply Safe, True Car. The NRA sent Breitbart News a statement regarding companies' decisions to sever ties. The more than 5 million law-abiding members of the National Rifle Association have enjoyed discounts and cost-saving programs from many American corporations that have partnered with the NRA to expand member benefits. Since the tragedy in Parkland, Florida, a number of companies have decided to sever their relationship with the NRA, in an effort to punish our members who are doctors, farmers, law enforcement officers, firefighters, nurses, shop owners and school teachers that live in every American community. We are men and women who represent every American ethnic group, every one of the world's religions and every form of political commitment. The law-abiding members of the NRA had nothing at all to do with the failure of that school's security preparedness, the failure of America's mental health system, the failure of the national instant check system, or the cruel failures of both federal and local law enforcement. Despite that, some corporations have decided to punish NRA membership in a shameful display of political and civic cowardice. In time, these brands will be replaced by others who recognize that patriotism and determined commitment to constitutional freedoms are characteristics of a marketplace they very much want to serve. Let it be absolutely clear. The loss of a discount will neither scare nor distract one single NRA member from our mission to stand and defend the individual freedoms that have always made America the greatest nation in the world.